Hi, second graders. Today is Thursday, May 7th, 2020. We'll be working a little bit on our writing. Again, we're not actually going to be writing our how-to text today, but we're going to be doing a little work to prepare us for when I actually assign you that writing assignment. So let's go ahead and get started. Open up your Student Interactive. And you should be on page 583, or you can follow along with me. So we'll be working on 3 pages today, 583, 584, and 585. On page 583, we'll be talking about the structure of your text. So what makes a how-to text a pretty simple text to organize is the fact that it has a specific structure. So anytime you read a how-to text, there are a couple things you'll notice that they usually have in common. Let's go ahead and get started reading up at the top right here. It says, in a procedural text, an author uses a structure to organize information. Remember, a how-to text is also called a procedural text because you're following a procedure, those step-by-step directions. So here's a common structure. So at the beginning, you see a head or title to identify the procedure, such as how to make a straw painting. So if you're writing directions for making a straw painting, then the title is likely how to make a straw painting. So it's very straightforward. The next thing we often see in a how-to or procedural writing is the list of materials or equipment. This is so that the reader can know what they're learning, how to do, and they know ahead of time what they need to be able to do it. Then we have those steps with really precise directions, those steps listed in order to tell what to do. And then you have your graphics, your drawings, or your photographs that add to the reader's understanding of what they should be doing. So sometimes the author also includes subheads or subheadings, such as these. So what you need and what to do. And I believe that if you look back at the very first example of a how-to text that we read together, it's on page 503, you'll see one of those subheads. Okay, so again, anytime today that you need to pause and go back and look at a sample of a how-to to see how what I'm discussing with you applies to that, you'll just go back in your interactive. The sample is on page 503. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. So you have 2 things that you should do for my turn. The first thing is to compose a title for your procedural text. So if you think back to last week on page 504, you were actually 2 weeks ago, excuse me, you were brainstorming your ideas. So if you turn back in your interactive to page 504, you have a list of ideas that you were brainstorming for your how-tos. Then on page 505, you actually created a plan. Today, you have the option to use that same how-to topic that you used then, or you could come up with a new how-to topic. Eventually, I'm going to have an assignment all laid out for you with directions in a separate video, but just be thinking about which be thinking about which topic you actually want to use. So, how-to, and then go ahead and write your topic down. Then it says to develop a draft. Like I mentioned, you don't have to do that yet, okay? The only thing I want you to do is be thinking about a title for your how-to text. You can use the same topic that you have in your plan on page 505, or maybe you've come up with a different topic. Let's go ahead and move on to page 584. So now we're talking about writing in steps. And I know I keep mentioning that page 505, but this graphic organizer looks very similar, okay? So let's go ahead and review what's important about writing our steps. In a procedural text, an author gives directions, one step at a time in order. The steps may be bulleted, just like these steps that I'm pointing to right now, or they could be listed with commas to separate, okay? Or they could be numbered in order, number 1, 2, 3, and oftentimes the directions begin with time order words such as first, next, or last. So your job is to plan the structure of your procedural text. It says to write 4 steps in order, make sure they're in the correct order, and restate the directions out loud. So even if you're practicing by yourself at home, write your steps down and then reread them out loud to make sure that they make sense. This will be used in your draft at another time. So remember, this looks a lot like page 505. Go back to page 505, look at your plan, see if you want to continue with that how-to topic, or create a new topic. And if you are creating a new topic, that's the title you should have used on page 583, right here. So whatever your title is, you need to create a step-by-step plan. You only have space for 4 steps. It's okay with me if maybe you decide you need 8 steps and you break these each in half. That's fine. Go ahead and number them to help you. When you're ready, you'll move on to the next page, and this is our last page for the day. And it's about an introduction and a conclusion. And you might be thinking, well, why do I need an introduction or a conclusion for my how-to text? Well, let's read to find out why. An author may write an introduction and a conclusion to a procedural text. The introduction names the procedure and it tells the readers why they should do it. The conclusion may end with a good wish, such as enjoy, or maybe some sort of final thought. So really that introduction, you guys, is getting the reader hooked, making them want to follow your directions. And then the conclusion is kind of sending them off like, I hope you've enjoyed this, or if you haven't started following the steps, go do it now. Something like that to kind of close out your writing piece. Let's take a look at the My Turn. It says plan the introduction and conclusion for your how-to text, then compose them in your writer's notebook. So you don't need to compose anything in a writer's notebook. All I want you to do on this chart is fill in your title, which you should have put in your student interactive a couple pages ago. So how to, and then whatever you're doing. And then for your introduction, you really need to think about what do you want readers to know and why should they care about learning this. So you might have 2 or 3 sentences in your introduction, kind of explaining to them what you want them to know and convincing them why they should do this. Why does it matter for them to learn this? I think we talked about an example last week about why you should learn to make your bed. Maybe you like to have your room nice and neat, and if you know how to make your bed, it really makes your room look clean, okay? That might be a reason they should care about learning that. Then the conclusion, it says, what do you hope readers will do? Do you have any advice for readers or final thoughts? So again, if my how-to was how to make my bed, well, I hope readers will make their bed. So maybe at the end, after I've listed all of the materials and the steps, I could say something along the lines of, I hope you're off to your bedroom to make your bed. And then my advice for them could be, if you need help, ask a family member, something like that, okay? All right, you guys, so that's all you have to do today. Let's go ahead and do a quick review of what I'm expecting from you. I just want you to understand the structure of a how-to text. Know that there's a heading or a title. The materials should be listed. You'll have steps, and then some sort of graphic, some sort of picture, photograph to show what to do. The only thing you actually need to do on this page is come up with your title. It could be the same title you used in our previous lessons on page 505 from that plan, or it could be a new topic. For whatever topic you write today, I really want that to be a topic that you are interested in and something that you will use for a final draft later. Then on the next page, we have our writing steps. Don't forget to use bullets or numbers to list and use those time order words such as first, then, next, last, finally, okay? You can always go back and use your plan on page 505 to help you with this. And then the last thing I want you to do is kind of answer these questions. Maybe you don't answer them in complete sentences yet. Maybe you use this as a brainstorm for your introduction and your conclusion, but answer these questions so later when it's time to write an introduction and write a conclusion, you're prepared. Go ahead and reach out to me if you need any help. I miss you guys. Don't forget, tomorrow you need to get on MyView. You need to do your weekly progress check. It is Unit 5, Week 3. It's Unit 5, Week 3. Okay, bye guys.